It was a late Friday night when my business meeting finally wrapped up. The clock had just struck 11, and I had a 3-hour drive ahead of me to get back home. As I navigated the lonely highway, the darkness seemed to swallow my car whole, with only the dim glow of my headlights piercing the thick black void. The road was eerily empty. Not a single car in sight, no roadside lights, just the endless stretch of asphalt winding through barren fields and desolate countryside. I felt a chill run down my spine, but I brushed it off as the result of a long, exhausting day. About an hour into my drive, I noticed something strange. In the distance, through the thick fog that had begun to settle, I saw a figure standing in the middle of the road. I slowed down, squinting to make out who or what it was. As I approached, I saw a man, or at least what appeared to be a man. His clothes were tattered, and his skin had a ghostly pallor, almost translucent in the beam of my headlights. I rolled down my window slightly. "Hey, do you need help?" I called out, my voice trembling despite my best efforts to stay calm. The figure didn't respond. Instead, it began to walk towards my car, slow and deliberate. I felt an overwhelming sense of dread. Something was very wrong. My instincts screamed at me to drive away, but my curiosity kept me rooted in place. When the figure was just a few feet from my car, I saw its face clearly for the first time. Hollow eyes stared back at me, dark and endless like bottomless pits. Its mouth twisted into a grotesque grin, revealing rows of sharp, decayed teeth. Panic surged through me. I slammed on the gas, my tires screeching against the pavement as I sped away. In my rearview mirror, I saw the figure standing motionless in the middle of the road, watching me. I tried to shake off the encounter, convincing myself it was just my imagination playing tricks on me. But as I continued driving, the eerie feeling of being watched never left me. My heart pounded, and every shadow seemed to move, following me. About 15 minutes later, my car started to sputter. The engine light flickered on, and before I knew it, the car stalled. I was stranded in the middle of nowhere, with no cell service and miles away from the nearest town. I got out of the car, hoping to find a signal by walking a bit. The night was unnaturally quiet, the kind of silence that presses in on you, making every sound seem amplified. But then, another sound reached my ears, a faint whisper, almost like someone calling my name. I spun around, but there was no one there, just the darkness and the oppressive stillness of the night. I quickened my pace, desperate to find a signal. That's when I saw it again, the same ghostly figure standing by the side of the road, watching me with those hollow eyes. I broke into a run, my breath coming in ragged gasps. The whispers grew louder, more insistent, echoing through the air. I stumbled back to my car, locking myself inside. My hands shook as I tried to restart the engine. To my relief, the engine roared to life. I slammed my foot on the gas pedal, speeding down the foggy road. The dense fog made it nearly impossible to see, but I didn't dare slow down. The whispers followed me, a haunting melody that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. Then, out of nowhere, a tree loomed in front of me. I yanked the steering wheel to the side, but it was too late. My car skidded on the wet pavement and crashed head-on into the tree. Dazed and injured, I crawl out of the wrecked car. The whispers were gone, replaced by a deafening silence. I looked around, my vision blurry and my body aching. The figure was nowhere to be seen. I limped away from the car, desperate to find help. The road stretched out before me, an endless path shrouded in fog and darkness. I stumbled down the road, my strength fading with each step. Just when I thought I couldn't go any further, I saw headlights approaching. I waved my arms frantically, hoping the driver would see me. The car slowed down and stopped beside me. A man got out, his face filled with concern. "Are you okay? What happened?" he asked. My vision blurred and I felt myself slipping into unconsciousness. The last thing I remembered was the man calling for help, his voice echoing in the night. I woke up in a hospital bed, surrounded by the sterile smell of antiseptic and the steady beep of monitors. A nurse told me I had been found unconscious on the side of the road, with no explanation for how I had gotten there. They said it was probably exhaustion, but I know what I saw. I know that out there, on that lonely stretch of highway, something waits. A phantom, hungry for the souls of the unwary,